Hello, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting focused answers they need from an employment attorney. Got a question here from YouTube user David Z5740, who says, "Would a judge allow you to tell a jury deciding the amount of a punitive damages award that you have already signed an agreement with a children's hospital to donate all of your portion of the punitive damages, not the law firm's portion, to that hospital? The motivation to do so would be to make it crystal clear to the jury that your only objective is to punish your former employer for an amount that actually causes them to change their discriminatory practices. You have no intention of enriching yourself through punitive damage awards. Fortune 100 companies probably have to be hit hard to see an appreciable impact on their stock or bottom line, and I'm looking for strategies to maximize that award. If the judge were not to allow it, what grounds would he or she use?" Okay, so simple answer is no, never going to be allowed. The point of these laws is to make you whole for what was done to you. And generally that is true. Listen, the point of punitive damages is to punish. You are correct in that sense. But I just got to be upfront with you. If you're dealing with a Fortune 100 company and the laws governing employment law, at no point will you be impacting the stock price of that company. That's just not, it's not in the cards given the way the laws are calculated, the way the laws are written, or the damages in this field are calculated. So you just need to be aware of that. Now, I think your further question is, what grounds would the judge use? Well, the judge would say, hey, you're trying to unduly influence the jury to give a larger excuse me, to give a larger verdict by telling them you're going to give all the money to this children's hospital. That's not how jury instructions work. That's not something they're going to let into a jury instruction. So I think 99.99999999999 judges out of 100 are going to tell you, no, you can't do that. And also, like, listen, there's a component here of, like, I think you're imagining that the jury's going to care a little bit more than they might actually care, if I'm being honest with you. So you're probably not going to change your employer's practices. That's going to happen in aggregate. If they get 100 claims, that might change. They might really do some training. They might really figure this out. They might become better. But your one case is probably not going to be sufficient to change your employer's practices, especially if they're a Fortune 100 company. Now, the jury, if you gave all your money to the chief of Charity Island, I don't think the jury cares. I got to be honest with you. I say that because I've served on juries, and I don't care. It's just like, okay, you can do whatever you want. We are here to make you whole. The money's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. But that's kind of it. You know, that's the gig for the jury. They're at the point where they're receiving jury instructions and they're potentially finding for you. Their goal, their jury instruction, is going to be to make you whole. And in the course of punitive damages, to punish the employer to some extent. But very clearly, they're not to punish the employer so much that the employer is harmed. Right? I mean, the government has no interest in harming corporations. Specifically, the government wants the corporations to continue existing because it's good for the economy. So I think you're misplaying the narrative a little bit, but it's irrelevant because you wouldn't be allowed to do that. So David Z5740, I hope this answers your question. I made a little bit more crabby version of this video earlier that I scrapped because you didn't deserve it, and I think it was me taking out my frustration on the laws in this field that exist, which I do view as too conservative in how they calculate damages in this field. I don't think that the laws in this field really make up for discrimination. And I think it should be calculated at a much higher level. And I think that my frustration with that led me to be frustrated with your question, which was wrong. I was wrong, David. And so I made you a second video to do better. I want to be better. Anyways, I hope this helps. If it did, like, subscribe, comment down below, share our channel so it can grow. Take care.